The katana gleamed in moonlight, but the blade never touched flesh. Instead, stones crushed bone. Gates became guillotines. Entire castles transformed into killing machines. Welcome to Japan Rewind, where we uncover the brutal truths behind Japan's most beautiful fortresses. Today, we're entering the deadly world of samurai engineering, where architecture itself became the ultimate weapon. War demanded innovation. The Sengoku period unleashed 150 years of relentless warfare across Japan. From 1467 to 1615, survival demanded more than sword skill. It required revolutionary thinking. Traditional wooden fortifications crumbled under new siege tactics. Firearms, introduced by Portuguese traders in 1543, shattered old defensive concepts. Arquebus bullets pierced wooden walls like paper. The samurai faced extinction unless they adapted. Archaeological excavations at Himeji Castle reveal layers of innovation spanning decades. Stone foundations replaced wood. Walls grew thicker, higher, more complex. Each renovation added new killing mechanisms, new ways to channel death. Matsumoto Castle's excavated foundations show evidence of deliberate kill zones built into the structure itself. Underground chambers reveal storage areas for stones and arrows positioned directly above choke points. Kumamoto Castle's defensive legacy includes the infamous musha-gaeshi stone walls, curved barriers so steep that climbing them was virtually impossible. These walls rose at impossible angles, their polished stones offering no grip for desperate fingers. Its deep wells, some over 100 meters, ensured survival during extended sieges. Fresh water meant defenders could outlast attackers when everything else ran dry. These weren't just fortresses anymore. They were weapons. Massive stone weapons designed to crush armies through pure architectural terror. The samurai had discovered something more powerful than any blade, the castle that fought back. The psychology of fear. Bushido praised honor, but real war demanded something darker. The code spoke of face-to-face combat, but survival required cunning beyond the battlefield. Samurai commanders studied Chinese strategy texts like Sunzi's Art of War with religious devotion. Its teaching that to subdue the enemy without fighting was the height of skill rang true in Sengoku Japan. Sometimes, terror was worth more than 1,000 swords. The siege of Odawara in 1590 proves the point perfectly. Toyotomi Hideyoshi encircled the vast Hojo fortress with more than 200,000 troops, cutting off supplies and morale. The siege dragged on for months. Then, almost overnight, his men built the one-night castle on nearby Ishigakiyama Hill, raised so quickly it seemed supernatural. By dawn, white walls gleamed like a phantom fortress on the horizon. The message was clear: resistance was futile. If Hideyoshi could build castles overnight, what hope did defenders have? The Hojo surrendered without the climactic clash everyone expected. Word spread quickly across Japan. If castles could crush spirits before blades ever crossed, then fear itself was a weapon. Every twisting gate, every echoing hallway, every hidden alcove whispered to intruders, "You are already defeated." The samurai had weaponized despair itself, engineered kill zones. Japanese castle architects didn't build walls. They built death traps disguised as architecture. Every element served a lethal purpose. Every design choice calculated for maximum carnage. The Masugata gate system created the perfect killing field. Attackers entered a square courtyard surrounded by walls on 3 sides. No escape routes, no cover. Archers above could fire from complete safety while enemies had nowhere to hide. These courtyards were precisely measured. Too small, and attackers couldn't enter in sufficient numbers. Too large, and they might find cover. The dimensions were perfect for slaughter. Loopholes called sama dotted every wall surface like mechanical eyes. Triangle, circle, and square openings allowed defenders to fire arrows, spears, or early firearms while remaining completely protected. Each opening was carefully calculated for maximum killing efficiency. The ishi-otoshi stone drop chutes were perhaps the most terrifying. These openings in overhanging walls allowed defenders to drop massive stones directly onto attackers below. Some stones weighed over 100 kilograms, enough to crush multiple men. But the true genius lay in the integration. Gates funneled enemies into predetermined kill zones. Walls channeled movement along specific paths. The entire castle became a mechanical predator. Architecture had evolved into the ultimate weapon system, the Castle of Nightmares. Himeji Castle stands as the masterpiece of samurai defensive engineering. Its complex of over 20 gates creates a maze designed to disorient, exhaust, and ultimately destroy any invading force. The approach path twists and turns through a deliberate labyrinth stretching hundreds of meters. Each turn reveals another gate, another checkpoint, another opportunity for defenders to rain death from above. Attackers who breached the outer defenses faced an increasingly deadly gauntlet. The path forces invaders to turn their backs to defensive positions repeatedly. Right turns exposed the left side, traditionally unprotected by shields. Every architectural choice was calculated for killing efficiency. The musha-gaeshi, warrior hiding places, were concealed alcoves built into walls and corners throughout the complex. Armed samurai could remain hidden until enemies passed, then strike from behind with devastating effect. Nijo Castle in Kyoto perfected the art of acoustic warfare. Its famous Nightingale floors squeaked under any weight, alerting defenders to intruders. These weren't killing traps, but they were psychological snares, reminding intruders that stealth was impossible. The central keep represented the final nightmare. Multiple stories of interconnected rooms, hidden passages, and concealed firing positions created a three-dimensional killing field. Every step forward meant deeper entrapment. These castles didn't just defend territory, they devoured armies. The myth of poison and needles. Legends speak of poisoned door handles, hidden darts, and deadly substances coating every surface. But archaeology and historical documents tell a different story. Poisons like aconite, torikabuto, were indeed known in Japan. Hunters, and especially the Ainu people, used it to tip arrows with deadly effect. A single scratch could kill within minutes. Stories of fugu fish toxin also surface in folklore. But when it comes to samurai castles, archaeological surveys have found no evidence of systematic poison traps, no hidden needle mechanisms, no dart-firing devices, no chemical residues on handles or walls. So where did the myths come from? Likely from survivors of sieges, traumatized by kill zones of stone and fire. When memory met fear, tales of supernatural poisons and invisible needles seemed easier to explain than the cold reality of collapsing morale and falling stones. The truth was harsher and more brutal. Samurai castles didn't need exotic chemicals to terrify. They had gravity, architecture, and disciplined defenders. That was more than enough to destroy intruders. Sometimes reality is more terrifying than legend. Human cost and survival. The real cost of samurai castle defenses was measured in blood, time, and broken willpower. Scaling walls under fire from matchlocks and arrows, dodging stones dropped through ishi-otoshi, and being funneled through Masugata gates was devastating. Contemporary records describe attackers hesitating, refusing to press forward after watching comrades fall in choke points. Even ninja from the Iga and Koga clans, famed for stealth, trained specifically to detect these defenses. Manuals describe how to spot ambush alcoves, listen for hollow walls, and anticipate kill zones. Survival depended less on sword skill than on reading the architecture itself. The buildings had become the true enemy, more dangerous than any human opponent. Yet even with training, infiltration was never safe. Castles turned the very ground into an enemy. The walls weren't silent. They spoke a single message: you don't belong here. Legacy of samurai defense. When the Tokugawa shogunate brought peace in 1603, castles shifted from war machines to symbols of authority. Yet the defensive mindset they embodied never disappeared. Centuries later, during World War II, Japanese military engineers again used layered defenses and psychological tactics. The caves of Iwo Jima and Okinawa weren't medieval replicas, but they echoed the same principle: confuse, exhaust, and terrify the enemy before the killing blow. American soldiers reported the same sense of unease that medieval armies had felt: the impression of being watched, of walking into a trap, of facing an enemy that seemed everywhere and nowhere. Today, when visitors walk the winding paths of Himeji or Matsumoto, the unease still lingers. The turns feel too tight, the gates too many, the walls too steep. These were not built for beauty alone. They were built to make enemies feel trapped long before a blade touched them. Samurai discovered a truth that outlasted their swords. The most terrifying weapon is not held in the hand. It is built into the very stones beneath your feet. The samurai sword may have captured our imagination, but it was their castles that truly changed warfare forever. These weren't just fortifications. They were weapons of mass destruction disguised as beautiful architecture. Every stone was placed with lethal intent, every gate designed to kill, every path calculated to lead enemies toward their doom. The next time you visit a Japanese castle, remember, you're walking through a carefully engineered killing machine where beauty and death dance together in perfect, terrifying harmony. What other dark secrets of samurai engineering would you like us to uncover? Subscribe to Japan Rewind and join us as we explore the hidden truths behind Japan's most beautiful nightmares. Until next time, keep rewinding through history